nice and spicy.
Don't waste my time. Submit! Yeah.
I'm the frying pan.
Blitz. Give up. It's nothing.
Jumpy dumpy go! Boo! Yeah! Boo! Boo! Yeah! Boing, boing, boom! Time to clean up. Blazing delight! Pew! Hi-ya! Da-da-da! Woo! Woo! Hi-ha! Yeah! Woo! Hi-ya! Let the show begin.
The wind knows me. As one with wind and cloud. Into the wind.
Come on, we can do it.
One with nature. Fallen leaves, adorn my night. The wind knows me.
Bring it on! Cyclone!
You're toast!
This moment will be frozen in time. Dodge this! Can't fool me! Fracture!
La 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 la.
Oh, so sorry.
Eat this! Nice and spicy.
Truth hurts! Cyclone!
Since we first set foot on Inazuma, so many things have happened since then. Yeah, we've definitely made we're... Huh? Hey! What the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? All right, let's convince him to calm down a little.
Lights out. Illusion shattered.
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all? Seems like I've mistaken.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the... No, wait! Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attacking the...
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kaedahara? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animal vision. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting...
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our face. Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling him, right? Paimon has a feeling, though, that even if this guy... Anyway, just to be on the safe side. Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean... Yeah, maybe a little. Anyway, there's no time to lose. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look for him there.
the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion. I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
A nation blessing now 10% off.
Jewelry from Liu.
I'm not used to it. Competition is now underway.
Hey! Hello? Do you know where Kazuha is?
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run. If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just
Oh, so you still...
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well deserved. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryo Commission. They said they had something important to discuss with him. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you! Guess we'll go pay a visit to the Tenryo Commission.
All right then. I'll just...
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt Decree. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of good. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaidahara name. Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat... In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the... But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaidahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax... We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Considering Mr. Kaidahara has once more made... In the interest of preventing further harassment of the bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into the...
This is a true honor. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some...
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. With the Kaidahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaidaharas will be bladesmiths once more, and you will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the almighty...
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer... Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaidahara. And the art of...
I sense some hesitation in your... Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulate...
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so which...
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaedahara... Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaedahara...
What? But that doesn't make sense.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements...
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion, but perhaps if the shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this...
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought.
Please allow me some time to... In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then.
Yikes! We nearly forgot about...
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedahara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So
All the more reason to watch your back!
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he...
In that case, I will send some men out...
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter, and I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked her.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say.
More speed.
Hey there! We'd like to ask, do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him?
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaedahara.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can...
Oh? You were targeted in an Mr. Kaedahara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always... To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate...
Millions? Of mora?
Please, accept my thanks for looking...
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by... Sorry, I got a little off topic, but I wouldn't know where to begin.
Then let's put that connection aside. The Tenryo Commission had very few leads, and I thought you might have...
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which case the...
Uh-oh. Looks like the
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now. I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically for the poor victim. This would be—
Don't worry, we'll find it.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaidehara.
You flatter me. Truth be—
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand. Oh, actually, there was one stray— Let me tell you about it, Justin.
Sure. During time—
All right then. Recently, two people— One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma.
Amenoma. Now,
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of— Two grown men going missing at the same time. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the one you are looking for.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why—
sure, can't hurt. We never know.
Thank you, Ryuji.
Sounds good.
If it—
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma. Yes, you may recall the story of the Raiden—
Though all bladesmiths trace their craft back to the same source, over time, each— As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding— There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan—
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony, but for only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart.
You overestimate me. My action— But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit— We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to—
Ah, yes. My nephew. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. But I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know any—
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato. After that, the next thing Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what— If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade. He is extraordinarily—
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be, based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only you—
What? No. Absolutely impossible. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade. But, with that said, it's equally out of character. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of. Anyway, should you find him—
Don't worry, you have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Yes, it sounds as if something happened when— Let's pay a visit to—
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband had...
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about...
Ah, I see. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information...
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. Ever since, he'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but see, everything was fine when we first got married.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrow. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days he wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a... I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to... On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum.
Whoa!
And that led to...
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes... You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply... The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he...
I see. Amin Omayuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the but my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument. I don't know. He just disappeared. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home, now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire. Even though I'm still a little mad at him. We're a fam. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests
A little confusing. More like...
Let's try a change of scenery. And rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much. I just want him to come home.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was... Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
An interesting explanation. Aminoma Yuya is an expert on swords. He could have noticed maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. They thought a fire would destroy everything. But then the Tenryo Commission began investigating and uncovered, but it's a far-fetched theory. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Aminoma Yuya is polite. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together. Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally—
Darn! We thought we could get 2 birds with 1 stone.
Let's keep going. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but where—
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse.
The dream of being number one is in the hands of my disciples now.
Wait, I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma, indeed. But this unexpected— we should remain vigilant.
So it's an underground—
The force is definitely cut. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left, judging from the concentration.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of— from what I've been told, Tatarigami— but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled— Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of
So what should we do?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look in. If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater—
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the—
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami— 2 ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear— Yes, let's go. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. From this point, the trail appears to split into 2. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Flood of frost. Eye for an eye.
Look at
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. Well, according to this letter, a conflict. Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight.
so.
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that, whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. Yes, right now, if Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately,
Right. So let's get moving.
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, for a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire, all the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnect. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct,
Wait. You figured it out?
I believe so. But it's something of an on with the search. We must stay vigilant.
Why here? Is there any...
I'm not sure, but on closer examination... Show yourself!
Kaede Harakazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So what's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have...
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. But what if instead of facing Amenoma Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is... Whoa! Surely...
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within... The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years. Or rather, as a means to occupy.
You're sharper than I thought. Many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. As a descendant of the Kaedehara clan.
I presume it has something to do with the...
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, he was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing... And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but in her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire...
So... swords?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. I seek but one thing. To face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might of Ishin art.
So Amenoma, you tell me, what happens to those you've...
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me...
You're off!
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's Kaede Harakazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Now, give...
Stabilize! This is order!
Punishment! Inazuma shines eternal!
And sever that divine light!
Yeah!
one with nature.
Order guide you. Do not stand in my way.
Your bluff's fooling no one.
Lost. I can never lose. Even if you defeat me here, the one who... He is but a puppet that can be replaced. The end result is the same. I will... And even if I were to lose my physical form by any means necessary, and...
Your fighting style. It is indeed, but from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance.
Really? You can
As I've mentioned before, the forms... Since the blade is currently possessing Aminome Yuya's body, its movements express the... If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin Art's secrets. The little that in that regard, why would I...
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now on...
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you find... Well, that brings me to my second point. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too... I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater... But the way I see it, what began as an...
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away.
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous, even if you were to sever that divine light, is this truly the outcome? Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to... How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harm?
Silence, you blabbering... I must achieve my goal. This was his... I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me... I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation. It is pointless to argue further. Descendant of the Kaedahara clan. If you wish to...
How stubbornly you stick to your... I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun.
What? Surely you're not planning...
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to... Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you...
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Aminome Yuya. If we don't, the Cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr.
But...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, we have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agree now.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but it's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will.
What should we do next? Have you got...
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash its true power. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing of... Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been...
All right.
What about Amenoma Yuya?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness yet, he is not in any immediate danger.
Are we sure this is a good idea? Okay, fine. Just...
Leave everything on this journey to me. The wind knows me.
To the ferry. Let's get down to business.
One with nature. As one with wind and cloud. Wind Strider. Into the wind.
Ferry. To the ferry. To the ferry.
How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use, though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think...
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than... Let's keep going.
Lucky day.
The wind knows me.
Say no more.
One with nature.
To the flurry. There's more.
Time to go.
There's more. To the ferry. Let's get down to business.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night! The wind knows me.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade, he cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps...
But what would that do to
I will be careful with it. He also says he's still trying to achieve his goal.
I'm ready.
It's fine. One with nature.
Fall before me.
Into the wind. As one with wind and cloud. One with nature. The wind knows me. One with nature. Clouds high. The birds call. Into the wind.
That was such a close call.
My apologies. In the end,
Are you okay? It looked like you were really...
yes.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere...
Perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking about? Huh? What the? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk!
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I've finally figured out why it was that you wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield but regrettably we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty. The only one who truly understood you.
Huh? What's the—
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help.
Don't worry. I'll use my... It's just more...
My lucky day!
The wind knows me.
Cheap tricks.
Into the wind. That hurt! One with nature. As one with wind and cloud. The wind knows me.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. No one knew anything of my story throughout my I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with...
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, too much time has passed. My physical state is poor and without proper maintenance. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue. Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Skill, blade, determination, and desire. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by...
I sensed it, but I couldn't change...
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for it, the moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person... You have known this for a long time.
He gave me everything. How could I possibly... I said to him, do not worry, from here on How could I go...
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have...
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. It was somewhere I've never been. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed. A newly forged blade lay by his side.
Wow. That was the...
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhna, he spent the rest of his life in the forge. Not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his action. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to... So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. But all he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith. That they were still worthy of...
So that... But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were warped by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that this blade has committed unforgivable atrocities. But only... Yes. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, he seems to have calmed down, though.
When I look back at the past, I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes, but darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Not only did I fail to fulfill...
You are finally seeing...
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the... But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambition...
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix!
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, my physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude... What do you think, Kazuha?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already... Alas, after that, nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were... You are a fine warrior. I would like to
Oh? And who...
I will release Ame no Mayuya and restore his consciousness. You must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and...
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and...
I see. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, if a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I do not wish to be...
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the...
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this...
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we...
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still can't let our guard down, even still. Even if he's... Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin art.
Successor of Amenoma art. Amenoma.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
Into the wind. The wind knows me. One with nature. The wind knows me. Clouds high. The birds call. Into the wind. It's fine. Time to go. The wind knows me. One with nature.
Thank you for the experience, although he appears battered and broken. In your hands, it seems he's regained his sense of savage cruelty has
You also fought well. I'm sure there are a few things that I shall leave.
I must apologize to you for all that has...
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to It is too late.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgression. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has a worthy successor in Kai. I beseech you.
Yes. I too trust Mr. Kai.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want?
I'm not sure, but...
More speed.
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them.
A prized Ishin blade. Turned weapon that control... Considering their forging but I have some good news as well. Ryuji from the Bonta...
Really?
Yes. Badly wounded, but he will live. And now that Hyuya is back, it seems like the final...
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade with...
Yes. He said he wants to take
What? No way!
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. I have decided...
You... But... He...
Thank you. I will... Okay. I am ready. Let us begin.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why he said his consciousness will disappear forever.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions. Only in the final moments, before his conscience.
Seems like he really.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them. I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me. Just as your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling in. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me.
Oh.
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have.
Wait! Shouldn't we also go update?
Oh, you're right. And it's also time to give him a response.
Surprise. I wouldn't mind staying here for a while.
More speed.
You've the Tenryou Commission is all.
Wow! You sure kept your ear to the ground.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin. A weapon crafted using a long-lost blade. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the...
I see.
The Kaedehara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths. So it is... Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya.
You misunderstand.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue...
Very well, I can understand. Then let's... However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the shogun...
Great.
Where will you travel to?
As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
This world is full of unsolved...
This is the headquarters of the Tenryu Commission. Commoners are forbidden from entry.
Make sure to keep up.